Now at 6, day 7 of the historic Albany teacher strike. Taking a live look right now at the district offices where hundreds of teachers are expected to picket this morning. Ashley Grams has a live report on the latest in the contract negotiations.
Plus, the Portland City Council will vote on a costly settlement this morning after a man claims he was intentionally shoved by a police officer 4 years ago. And later.
This is Molly's corn bake.
Corn bake.
Corn bake.
Corn bake.
Do you know what the recipe is called, China?
Corn bake.
It is corn bake. It's also part of this week's Viewer Recipe Rewind, where we're highlighting some of our all-time favorites from our viewers' Thanksgiving recipe series.
Yeah.
We'll get into how Molly makes her corn bake at 6:45.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. It is a Wednesday morning here on the Sunrise Show. We've got that corn bake coming up for you, Rod, at 6:45. In the meantime, Rod's baking up a forecast.
I remember that too. Remember that corn bake? You could eat like a bowl of it.
I made it last year myself.
You couldn't stop eating it. It was worse than chips. All right, here's a look at lightning strikes along the coast this morning. So obviously there's a huge safety concern here. Look at the cluster now near and north of Tillamook, offshore from Long Beach. A huge cluster of lightning strikes approaching Tillamook. The storm threat for the coast at least through the morning hours. Now, right now, the opposite, Salem into Portland, we're actually in a little dry window where we've had rain push off to the east. If you're getting ready to step outside, and there's Rockaway Beach and Manzanita showing that lightning. If you're getting ready to step outside in Portland or Salem, it's mainly dry at this hour. We're at 49, a comfortable temperature. Still some noticeable breezes south 10 to 20, but all watches, warnings, concerns from the weather last night, all gone, all expired. At noon today, 52, kind of a mix of dry time and some scattered showers. Not looking for a lot of total rain today. Again, temperatures will be comfortable. Here's Chris.
Good news that things are quieting down. During the peak of the storm last night, there were numerous outages across the area. I wanted to bring this up. This is video that I shot while I was driving a dark intersection, Interstate Avenue and Rosa Parks Way. When you come to one of those, you just treat those like a four-way stop. And it's obviously a dangerous situation out there with busy traffic, but good news as power is coming back on for a lot of us. All right, let's get you out the door. I-5 through North Portland's getting a little bit busier up there, but you can see traffic still rolling right along. We'll switch gears, take you down to Tualatin. That looks pretty good as well. For folks out in Klickitat County, Glenwood School District on snow routes this morning. So some parts of our area still dealing with that. Of course, Highway 26 is snow covered heading up and over Mount Hood, and a little farther east in Jefferson County. We've got a crash and a closure right now because of down power lines just north of the Madras area. There's a local detour set up around that, but just be aware, Highway 26 in that area likely to be closed for a little while longer. China, Drew?
Thank you, Chris. Later this morning, the Greater Albany School District and the Teachers Union will meet for another mediation session.
School is also canceled again both today and tomorrow with a big teachers picket planned right outside district offices. That's where Ashley Grams joins us live this morning. So Ashley, let's talk about the latest on negotiations.
Drew, China, good morning. This strike began last Tuesday, so it's now been over a week since teachers walked off the job. Now, just last night, the union did send out a statement saying they're actually pretty close, they believe, on coming to an agreement on many of these issues. But the union president saying they feel the district has thrown in the towel by canceling classes through Thursday. Now, as for the district, they simply said they will continue to work toward an agreement. Both the union and the district have discussed many issues over the past week, including teacher wages, prep time, and class sizes. Now, when it comes to teacher pay, the district says they've offered a 7% cost of living increase and a 9% increase for longtime teachers. Now, the union represents about 600 educators. Those educators are expected to be out here picketing this morning in what they describe as a mega picket. That's set to start at 8:30 and last about 2 hours until 10:30. Then that next mediation session starts at 11. Drew, China.
Ashley Grams reporting for us live in Albany. And tonight, the Corbett School District is expected to adjust plans to cut 20% of its budget. Teachers will be a part of those layoffs. The district, which serves about 1,100 students, is blaming an accountant for mistakes that led to a budget crisis and says the new CFO discovered the problems earlier this year. So coming up at 6:30, our Thomas Schultz will have more from teachers and the district superintendent. And that's coming up at 6:30. Also coming up later this morning, the Portland City Council will vote on a settlement that would cost the city $400,000.
So 2 years ago, a man filed a lawsuit against the city after he said a former Portland police officer intentionally shoved him during a protest in 2020. Thomas is also covering this story for us this morning from the newsroom. So Thomas, we talked to this man. What did he say exactly?
Well, Drew, and 40-year-old Dustin Ferrer says he'll never forget the night of September 28, 2020. At the time, Ferrer was with a group of protesters in North Portland, protesting the death of George Floyd and supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. On that night, he says Portland police had just been federally deputized, giving them increased power. As protests continued, Ferrer began to feel targeted, specifically by now former Portland Police Sergeant Justin Damerville.
Officer Damerville again follows me as the group is trying to separate and get out of the way. Comes behind me, reaches down, as you can see in the video, shoves me as hard as he could.
Now here's video of Ferrer getting arrested shortly after that. He says he suffered injuries to his shoulders, spending a night in jail as well. We also spoke to Ferrer's attorney, Greg Kafori, who says the $400,000 settlement they're asking for is fair. Now we'll see if the city agrees when they vote on that settlement this morning. China.
Thank you, Thomas. It has been just over 1,000 days since Russia invaded Ukraine, and war between the two countries still going strong. On Tuesday, Russian President Vladimir Putin formally changed the county's criteria to use nuclear weapons. Now Moscow can make a nuclear strike if they're attacked by a non-nuclear country that has the support of a nuclear state. Now this comes after the U.S. allowed Ukraine to use American long-range missiles for the first time. Locally, a small group in Portland gathered to show solidarity and support for Ukraine last night by singing traditional Ukrainian folk songs. We spoke to a Ukrainian refugee who fled the war with her daughter. She told us promoting Ukrainian culture is a defiance against Russia.
My hope war will over and I will come back home. I will hug my parents, I will hug my sister. Russia wanted to kill not only all of Ukraine people and also our beautiful tradition, our beautiful song. It's so important.
A local volunteer with the American Coalition for Ukraine urged Oregonians to call state lawmakers to support continued aid to Ukraine.
All right, one more story before we get back to Rod. It's one I think he'll appreciate because it's about food. The Rocky Butte Farmers Market is hosting a fall pop-up this Saturday featuring local farmers, handcrafted goods, food demos, face painting, all that good stuff. Also worth noting, the market says it will accept SNAP and EBT cash on Saturday. So it's happening from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon at the People's Courts on Northeast 82nd Avenue. And it's all indoors, Rod, so weather will not really be a factor for that event, but we still are looking ahead to the weekend here in this segment.
The weekend before Thanksgiving, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what's crazy about it.
Well, the fact that I haven't even thought about getting a turkey yet. Usually I've got like a fresh turkey reserved at a local market by now. Haven't done anything. Hope you're ahead of my game. All right, here is what is still that strong low pressure system that developed rapidly and hence earned the tag bomb cyclone. It's moved up to the north from yesterday's position, and now today we'll slowly start seeing it turn more back to the west. So anyway, getting farther and farther away from us. So today's kind of a typical showery day here in our local area. That heavy moisture flow from this is just making a beeline into California with heavy rains and heavy snows. Chris McGinnis just sharing with me that they have closed the Siskiyou Summit because of that heavy snow going into California on I-5 this morning. So that's a vivid reminder. It's that time of the year. If you're taking drives up through any of the mountainous areas of the northwest town of California, always best to check conditions. We still have snow-covered roads up in the Cascades and up around Mount Hood. Snow level locally today will be closer to 4,000 feet, which means those temperatures have a chance to get up to 32. Now, if that's the case, ODOT will start getting some improved payment up there, but check conditions nonetheless. All right, we've got showers in the area. The watches warnings here on the west side have all been canceled. Look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. This is just by our standards a monster outbreak of lightning strikes. There's Manzanita. Good morning. Snap, crackle, pop for you right now. There's a big cluster offshore down around Tillamook. We've had some lightning strikes up around the Long Beach Peninsula as well. So that's at least a threat continuing this morning. So we have that going on. In Portland, it's mainly dry right now. We're at 49 degrees. Temperatures are generally in the 40s, as you can see. Wilsonville 46 and Salem is 48 degrees. And we will see a pretty quiet day. Vancouver, Salem, Portland, Albany, a few showers, but a nice mix of dry time, 53 the high. Rain picks up tomorrow night into Friday with our Nix weather maker. Not expecting any watches or warnings in the lowlands from that. And then for the weekend, scattered showers, some breaks Saturday, and pretty dry weather overall expected on Sunday and Monday, and that is your update.